Welcome to the Daily Bolster. Each day we welcome transformational executives to share their real-world experiences and practical advice about scaling yourself, your team, and your business.
Welcome to the Daily Bolster. I'm Matt Blumberg, co-founder and CEO of Bolster, and I'm here today with Jennifer Kodner. Jennifer is a talent partner at DFJ Growth and Threshold Ventures. She has prior similar experiences and similar roles at Andreessen Horowitz, Comcast Ventures. At one point, she ran in-house recruiting at Box. Jennifer, it's great to see you.
Great to see you too, Matt. And you can call me Jen.
Jen.
We're going to keep it informal here.
Okay. All right, Jen. So, but not Jenny.
No. Sorry. It's a great name for some people, just not me.
It's not you. All right. So my question for you today, as a talent partner at multiple VCs over time, and have also done in-house, so it's kind of an interesting perspective, is when should CEOs or founders think about engaging operating partners or their venture talent team? I know that there's some of them that are like addicted to those teams, and they're there all the time, and there's some that never use them, and there's some that probably just don't know when it makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And we should and thank you for the question. And I think the third category is probably the one where we should focus, because the ones who know how to use us, and it's great. And they're like fully aware of our capabilities. The second category, I mean, I kind of look at it this way. It's like there's enough love to go around. So maybe I'm not vibing with a founder, or they just have a better relationship with another firm. That's totally cool. And if they feel comfortable working with that firm, that's great. But the third category of those of like, hey, I know this function exists, I don't know when to engage it, that's probably the one where we should focus. What do you think?
Yeah, although I think the second one matters too, because I think there are probably some founders and CEOs that don't want to engage an operating group of any form, either because they don't know how, they don't know when, or they're worried that it's going to somehow show weakness on their part, or it's going to get back to the investment partner and board member that something is wrong. So I think those two categories probably go together.
Fair enough. Good point. Well, to answer kind of the question of like, are we going to come back to our partners or the board member or whatever? No, I mean, if there's something going on, hopefully your board and or your investors already know about it, so there are no surprises. But we're really here to help support you. Literally, like the function exists because we know that, in building a startup, like people are the most important asset. So that's kind of why I'm sitting here. But to answer the question, kind of when to engage your, venture operating team and specifically talent, it's like early and often. So, there's no question too big or too small in which to engage us. So kind of going through the theme of three things, I'll kind of walk through, kind of how I think about it, and really how I walk through our capabilities when I am onboarding a new company and a new founder. So the first thing is like, there doesn't have to be a huge event. I mean, it's almost better just to get to know us and get to know our capabilities and kind of where we're super strong, where we're less strong, but have resources. Because the thing is we're not going to hide anything. We will let you know, how and when we can be helpful, and when we can refer you to someone who, we know can be helpful if it's not us. And like I said earlier, like we're literally here for you. I mean, the role exists because, we invest in early stage companies, or on the threshold side, and mid-stage companies with growth, but we invest in companies who, ideally need some talent and or people support. So that's why we're here. Second, use us as a thought partner. If you're kind of toying around with, hey, I'm thinking about hiring a CFO or a CMO, I don't know when the timing is, like, come to us. We don't have a perfect answer, but we've seen it enough to where we can say, hey, this is what we've seen with other companies. This is what we think works. And not even just on the people side, but if you're thinking about implementing a bonus program, or you're thinking about equity refresh, again, we see this a lot and we kind of know what other companies do. So we're happy to kind of give you our, relatively educated opinion and perspective on things like that too. Plus, we can help you scope it out and kind of, again, get you, if it's not us, get you resources that can also help you kind of be successful at, whether it's hiring an executive or building out some sort of compensation program.
Yeah, that thought partner point is a really important one because
Yeah.
if you're a founder and you think about sort of the best VC board member you have, they're really good at pattern matching at the strategic level. What your team is really good at doing is pattern matching with data at the operating level.
Yeah.
So I would encourage founders to sort of think about it that way, like the value you're getting out of your board member in one place, you can get out of the operating team in another place.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, we're here to really kind of complement each other and kind of, fill in the gaps where others can't. And going back to kind of my first point, even if it's something you think that we can't help you with, you should still come to us. Again, we're not here to like tattle back to the board and or the investors. And again, if there's something going on, they should know about it, or they probably already do know about it. Because if nothing else, we're pretty good founder, CEO, executive therapists, where it's like, again, if you're just willing, if you're just wanting to like kind of bounce something off us or just kind of vent, like I have those conversations every day and I'm happy to do it. That's why I'm sitting here. And again, if it's something that I truly can't help with, like we typically have pretty good resources who have done, whatever it is that you need. We either have good resources and or great operators who have kind of seen what you've seen and are always happy to kind of have a formal or informal conversation and kind of be a third party. And or also someone else in the portfolio. So we have just a group of people who we know who are willing to be helpful and just talk. And again, it can be on the record, off the record, but then kind of that eliminates us to be in the picture if there is some fear that we're going to go back,
right,
and talk to our partners.
So, all right. So, bonus question here at the end. Yeah. You've seen, back to the pattern matching point, you've seen dozens, hundreds of companies go through the scaling motions from seed to Series A to Series B to Series C. What is kind of the biggest or the most prevalent, I won't say mistake, but the most prevalent thing you see CEOs do that they are sorry they did down the road or didn't do?
I think, yeah, it's a great question, Matt. It's really making a decision. I mean, I know that this is very simplistic, but it's making a decision. Like, I want to hire a head of sales, but I'm going to just like dance around it for 6 months and think about it. It's like, no, you should hire someone. Because if you're not, as a CEO, the best salesperson and you have a go-to-market function, like hire the person and just know, and this sounds a little callous and I don't mean it to be, but like, just know that this person might only stay with you for 12 to 18 months. And if they do the job and if they do what you wanted them to do in that 12 to 18 month period of time, that is a win. And so I have this conversation a lot where it's like, oh my gosh, this person only lasted for 12 or 18 months, but it's like, but did they do what you wanted them to do? And were they successful? And if the answer is yes, then it's like, that's a positive outcome. So I think it's really more lack of, kind of indecision or inability to kind of move forward with the decision is kind of one of the bigger mistakes that I see.
Yeah, and I think a lot of first time founders question themselves a lot when it comes to people judgment, both on the way in and on the way out. So that's not surprising, but I think it's probably good advice that usually if you think something needs to happen, it needs to happen.
Yeah.
All right, Jen Kodner from DFJ Growth and Threshold Ventures. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.